I think DTRF has been involved in so many efforts that have really pushed desmoid tumor understanding from the microscopic biology level and understanding what drives these tumor cells and how we could better target them with our therapeutics we're developing, all the way through to clinical trials and making new resources for the research community, such as the Goddess Questionnaire, which has really been helpful for understanding the experiences of desmoid tumor patients, their pain levels, and how those can be improved on therapies. So it's just so many different areas that this organization has touched and moved forward that it's such an impressive organization and use of research dollars in a way that's really made a difference.
Thanks. And what do you want patients to know about how this research has tangibly changed outcomes for them?
Um, I think that this this is a patient-centered organization. And I think that what's really special about that is that the patients involved in this are feeding their voice into the decisions that are made, and what priorities there are for the research community. I think that if we rely solely on funding and development efforts from pharmaceutical companies, which have a huge role and are very meaningful as well, but if we only rely on those, then we may be missing the patient's perspective. So I think one exceptional thing about this organization is that they're really building the voices and feeding those into the research machine that keeps the patient's experience centered in everything that's being done in this space. So that's, I think, the real star that this organization has for the research in desmoid tumors.
Thanks, Candace. That's a really meaningful response and very validating as well. I really appreciate it. Can you speak at all to what might feel different about this moment in desmoid tumor research, maybe even compared to 5 years ago or 10 years ago?
Sure. I think there's so much momentum right now in the field. And that's come because of a lot of different factors aligning. I think, first of all, we've gotten some momentum from our successes in testing new drugs in rare diseases. And I think the sorafenib randomized trial is a great example of that. The fact that we were able to conduct a randomized clinical trial in such a rare disease was just phenomenal. And that gave a lot of momentum and maybe even visibility across the, cancer research community, the drug development community, that, that rare disease research can be done successfully. And then from there, we've seen the development of nirogacestat. We've seen the development of novel therapies that are just coming into clinical trials now, like FOG-001. And these are drugs that are being developed specifically for desmoid tumors, which is so cool. So I think that the momentum from the early success has really ushered in this wave of novel therapy development for rare diseases that is a paradigm that goes beyond even desmoid tumors and can help extend and promote rare cancer research and rare diseases research in general. So that's really exciting. And I just love to see the success of the novel therapies coming, the engagement of the desmoid tumor community. I think that there's a strong recognition that in order to develop drugs successfully in desmoid tumor space, there has to be engagement with the DTRF, with the patient communities, with the specialists, with the researchers and scientists. And it's just so awesome to see all those stakeholders come together towards this mission. And I can imagine that that's very different from where we were 10 years ago, even.